Can one moment in a movie make or break the movie? Let's talk about it. Welcome back, everybody, to another video. Today we are going to be stopping and ranking my top 10 favorite movie moments. This has been a video that I've been highly, very impatient to do. I really wanted to do this one for a long time, and this list was so hard to make, and I'm sure that within time it can probably change just depending on the day and how I'm feeling. But I also do have 2 honorable mentions in here besides the 10 that I have. So real quick, before we dive into this, if you are new here, consider hitting that subscribe button. And if you want to leave some of your favorite movie moments in the comments below, let me know. I'd love to have that conversation with you guys. And without further ado, let's get into the ranking. So our first honorable mention is the TASM 2. There's a scene in this movie where he just kind of does this whole montage of helping people. And that moment in the movie is just one of my favorite things in any Spider-Man movie, because it literally just shows like a day-to-day life of Spider-Man, and the way that it's represented just doesn't feel like it's a special occasion. Like, you could tell like this is his day job and this is what he does. And between that and the fact that I love the Amazing Spider-Man movies, I know not a lot of people do, and I know it's very controversial, but I love that scene, and of course I'll be playing the clip somewhere if I haven't already showed it. So definitely earns its spot as an honorable mention on my list. And our second honorable mention is Wonder Woman No Man's Land. When she gets up there, breaks out her, she says, "No, but it's what I'm going to do."
No, but it's what I'm going to do.
And breaks out in full costume. No fear whatsoever is on her face, just trying to bring down the enemy and what they're doing to these people. It just blows you away. In theaters, I think even in the one AMC ad, this moment is still used. And trust me when I say, I don't think DC has had a lot of moments, especially since like 2015 or 2016 even, that the moments have been like very meaningful or iconic. And this is one of those moments for me where I felt like, yeah, this is what I want my DC movies to feel like. So it definitely earned its place as my one of my honorable mentions. And now, as we get into the top 10, we have Manners Maketh Men from Kingsman: The Secret Service. Every time I watch Kingsman: The Secret Service, which by the way is one of my favorite movies of all time, and this scene comes up, I just think not only how great it's shot, but the tidiness and how it's executed, like the way that he like locks the pub doors in sync with the music, and the music is so iconic with it that I cannot get over how good it is. It's so proper. It starts out very proper and just goes into an all-out crazy fest. And so I had to put it in my top 10. Coming in at number 9, I have The Hanging Tree from Mockingjay Part 1, I believe. And this is that moment where the different districts kind of start to unite together, and it's when Katniss is singing the Hanging Tree song by the river. But we get to see that they truly don't care, that, they understand that they're going to have to make sacrifices, and we see them all getting shot down by the dam that powers all the districts, or no, it powers the capital mostly. And they have these bombs, and you see people dying, and just an act of despotism to blow up that thing to show them that they don't hold the power anymore. And it is just, with the music, you feel this sense of like, we're done hiding, like we're ready to fight. And that feeling just bottles up inside me every time, and it just gets me very excited for the rest of the movie. Coming in at number 8, we have The Social Network. And of course I'm talking about the scene with Eduardo, and where he comes into Facebook after, being in the dark for a little bit, and he finds out where he stands with his company. And for me, the biggest part of this is when they're when he does the, "You still wired in?" and he throws down the laptop.
Mark!
He's wired in.
Sorry?
He's wired in.
Is he?
Yes.
How about now? You still wired in?
But for me, the best part in this whole thing is when they are in. They cut back to the room where Eduardo and Mark are there, and he goes, "How much were your shares diluted? How much?" And they start saying, and they go, "It wasn't. It wasn't. It wasn't." Meaning they could have, you know, easily helped him out, and they diluted his shares to 0.03%. And the music drop that comes after that is just like, wow, what a dick.
What was your ownership share diluted down to?
0.03%.
You know, he didn't have to do that, and he did do that. And now he's not a part of Facebook, essentially. So it's something that, you know, very much hits home. And then what follows is, you know, this whole rivalry thing that's been going on between them two, and them taking shots at one another. And it just shows the resentment in Eduardo's eyes for Mark.
You better lawyer up, asshole, because I'm not coming back for 30%. I'm coming back for everything.
As he he walks away. So it's just something that I absolutely love, and I had to put in my top 10. Coming in at number 7, the only Star Wars scene I have on this list from Rogue One, actually, is the Darth Vader scene. I know a lot of people would expect me to put something from The Empire Strikes Back on here, and I was so close to doing it. But when I think of Darth Vader, all I can think about is fear. And when I watch this scene, you see the panic and fear. They all know most of them are going to die. You can see they've almost accepted their fates, but they still, all they care about is the plans to the Death Star. They're all trying to get it to one another. I think they even like open a little bit of the door so that one of them can hand it to him. All they care about is getting that safe. They want that to be safe. They don't really care much about themselves. They know that they are dying. And the way that this is shot, like mostly in the dark with the red lightsaber in the back, just shows the menacing force of Darth Vader. And every time I watch it, I'm like, yes, like this is who we're dealing with. This is who, you know, the next 3 movies are about. And I just have a blast with it every single time. Coming in at number 6, we have the blue pill, red pill scene from The Matrix.
Do you want to know what it is?
If you guys know, I don't know if you guys know this, but my favorite movie, well, my second favorite movie of all time is The Matrix. And years ago, when I watched this movie for the first time, and I watched this scene, and I just kind of got like almost like taken out of my body for a minute, of like realizing like it really does come down to choice.
Take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
And not only the way that this movie, like this scene makes me feel, but like this is the deciding moment. This is where Neo goes from being mind controlled to, does he want to accept? Is he okay to understand what he finds on the other side of the truth? And then the way that this is shot with, you know, you have Morpheus's glasses with each one in his hand, and you can see the 2 different scenarios playing out. It's just beautifully shot and beautifully executed. That every time I think of The Matrix, that's like the most iconic scene that I think anyone thinks of. But it's definitely my favorite scene from The Matrix. And cracking the top 5, of course, you know I had to put this for my favorite movie. I have the water planet from Interstellar. Specifically, not the actual water planet, but when he gets back from the water planet. When he gets back to the ship and they figure out that I think it's 20 or 27 years has passed. He gets to look at all the recordings from his family and all the messages. And it's just very like fear of like a fear of recognition. Like he understands exactly what's happened here.
I've waited years. How many years? By now it must be.
It's 23 years, 4 months, 8 days.
But it's scary to understand that you've been gone for how many years, 20 plus maybe years, and now you still have to focus on the rest of your mission and finding a safe place for these people while also realizing the damage that you've already caused. It's very, just a very significant part of the movie for me. And it's the moment I realized, I was like, wow, the weight of what was going on. So easily makes my number 5. Coming in at number 4, we have Protecting Hogwarts. This is the scene where McGonagall goes out to where the clocks would usually be ticking, and she does the spell, and the soldiers start dropping down to protect Hogwarts, and you see everyone, all these different professors and people we've met, and they're all protecting Hogwarts because we know that this is the only way to defeat Voldemort. And every time I watch this, I'm just appalled by all the different people working together, and that this is where the finale is going to take place. I can't get over how cool it is. It makes watching all of the movies feel like an accomplishment. It feels like, wow, I've watched all the movies to get to this point. I remember in other movies walking along these halls and getting to this point. It just feels, no pun intended, magical. And that's the best way that I can describe it. Coming in at number 3, we have the Lightning McQueen drift scene. In this part of the movie, you're starting to get very excited because the whole movie has been leading up to this, but it's kind of a question of how is Lightning going to do it, because up until this point, he's been a very cocky, race car, very full of himself. And he's just recently had this journey of self-discovery of realizing that, it's okay to take things slow and taking time to understand things and not just be excited by the big boom of them. And you could see that his head's not in it from the get-go, but when he gets hit and we're all getting ready for him to, just hit the grass and roll over or be out of the winning for sure. And he thinks back and he remembers what Doc showed him and what he was able to do already. And not only that he does it, but he gets into first because of it. And I don't know what it is about that scene. I cannot help but have a smile from cheek to cheek. I feel like a little kid again, watching, Lightning McQueen do his thing. And do his thing with all of his friends by his side now, and it's so much different. And then that leads into, him helping Dinoco pass the finish line when he crashes, and it just shows who Lightning has become throughout this movie, and it makes me cry a little bit every time. And as my runner-up, you guys probably knew this was coming, the Spider-Man No Way Home, all 3 Spider-Man moment. When this happened in theaters, I think our whole theater stood up and cheered. There were 2 moments in this movie. It was the one where they all showed up, and it was the one where they all swung together. This is the first time in history we've seen 3 Spider-Men swing with each other in live action. Each of these 3 have so many different significant memories for each person, whether you're a big Tobey fan or an Andrew fan or a Tom Holland fan even for the new generation. And you get to see all of them come together in their own special swinging styles and take on, try to save the city. And not only to save the city, but to cure these villains. And it's just such a sense of childhood nostalgia mixed with almost everyone's favorite superhero, Spider-Man. And getting to see that on the big screen opening night was just, I don't think a moment I'll ever forget. But of course, my favorite movie moment is Avengers Assemble.
Assemble.
After 12 years of the MCU in the making, of meeting these different characters and overcoming these battles and all this different stuff, and when Cap is ready to face Thanos and his whole army, including the Black Order, by himself, you get that beautiful shot of him staring up, and he's on the bottom here with his shield broken, and then you remember that they did bring everyone back and that we are ready to go. And with the Sam saying on his left,
On your left.
Just as a callback to the Winter Soldier, and you cannot help but smile this whole scene, and everyone gets to see their favorite character come back with even a few guest appearances from like Howard the Duck Rescue, and you get to see everybody united against what they want, and that is to stay in this universe, to not let Thanos have this power over them, that they know that they belong there, and to fight for worth losing everything, because if they were to lose, they would lose everything. And to see the determination and will worn on their faces, and then to see Cap lead it all, is just amazing. I remember going to see this opening night, and not only did we all cheer, but we were all, I could hear like sniffles from every seat, and it never fails to put a smile on my face every single time I watch it. I will go back and watch this at just random moments in the day. I'll look it up on YouTube and I'll watch crowd reactions. I cannot think of a better moment when we were all united as superhero and even movie fans than this moment. So that is my top 10, everyone. Let me know what your guys' is in the comments below. Did you like my list? Did you hate it? Just remember to be respectful of my list, because it is my list. But let me know what kind of top 10 you guys would like to see from me next. And until then, guys, I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.